All right, here we are back in Empowered Soul Network, second interview of the day. And I am just pleased to have on with us today Colette Resnikoff. I hope I said that right. Resnikoff. And
That's
she is, among other things, she's a dog groomer. She publishes this newsletter called Texas Animal Progress. But her special passion is being a canine esthetician. Hope I said that right, Colette. You could explain what that is a little bit more. But just such a heartfelt person. And Colette, I want to welcome you to Empowered Soul Network today.
Thank you so much for having me on your show, Paul. I appreciate it. I saw Jennifer's interview, and Jennifer Lee is a good friend and a great person and a good spirit. So I'm happy to be here with you. And yeah, a canine esthetician, just to like throw that out there
Yeah,
is
what? Tell us what that is a little bit.
sure. It's so I studied canine skin and coat care with Christine Pearson and took her class. I was I started as a dog groomer and I was always into the skin and coat care part, and I just wanted to formalize the education that was out there and study more about that so that I could do more good than harm and get a real good foundation of knowledge in working with animals. So
Beautiful. So I always am so excited to hear the journey that people go through that led them up to finding that passion or that purpose. So, what was happening to you before you came in on that focus?
um I was in sales and IT and recruiting for a while, and and I just wasn't really finding that sense of purpose. And um and I had a Great Pyrenees named Evie, and I found that I wanted to do her grooming myself. And and people would look at her and just say, "Wow, that animal is really absolutely beautiful. Do you want to groom my animal?" And it sort of grew from there. And a few years later, I found Positive Ed Training, which is an online grooming school because we didn't have one close by. And I started taking classes from Mary Okendo, and that's how I found Christine and this whole world of competitive groomers and creative groomers and veterinary groomers and salon groomers. Like there's so many different things going on in the world of grooming, and I was like, this is exciting. There's a groom team USA, like an Olympic sport almost. Like I didn't know these things existed, and I was like, this is amazing. There's so many plateaus of achievement that you can reach as far as a career opportunity. And and I also just found that the energy work that I was doing with the animals was really healing for me in my
Hmm.
own, in my own journey and of healing from emotional things and everything else that I found that they're a mirror of our energy, and whatever we're kind of putting out into the universe that they respond to. And it was a great way to be centered and to work on empathy. I and they taught me the dog's not giving you a hard time, the dog is having a hard time.
Hmm.
Make it better. So that's what I focused on.
I mean, what I hear you saying is that you just in wanting to take care of yourself and your dog and so on,
Mhm.
out of that came this passion. And
Yeah.
that and it's so interesting that did you feel like that the previous career you had before in IT and sales and so on recruiting Was that because it was almost this, I have to go work, I have to go earn money, I have to do this, but it really wasn't the fulfillment, right?
No, I mean, I love tech. I
Okay.
think it's fascinating. Um, and I like science and I like sales and I like, you know, the interaction with clients. But it definitely wasn't like a sense of purpose that
Right.
comes even close to the work that I do with animals and the difference I'm able to make in their lives. You know, they get to feel good. They get to feel love. They enjoy the attention. They like the pampering. They've got that pep in their step. I know like when I go to the salon, I feel like I've been pampered. I had a good day. I had some good self-care. And and the dogs absolutely feel that same way when they're smelling good and feeling good and everybody's oohing and awing over how beautiful they are and how soft they feel and how good they smell and they get more attention. So that turned into this advocacy part that they're more adoptable. Like if
Right.
they don't smell very good and you don't really want to touch them or they've got fleas or whatever, there's a whole different reaction and a response to the animals versus an animal that's had a spa day and everybody wants to snuggle that puppy.
Right, right. What's interesting to me is that I think of the dog whisperer, Caesar Milan, people like that, that they say that I'm not training the dog, I'm training the human,
Yeah.
right? Have you ever had the feeling, or how have you seen the outer work that you do with the dog actually groom the owner of that dog? What,
Um,
what do they come away with? What happens to that person when you've done your work with the dog?
Well, I definitely know the owner can see the change in the pet's behavior, you know, and they can see because I tried to focus on one-on-one low stress or no stress grooming and cage free and have it really be a pampering experience. I'm going to turn off that ringer. Pardon me. I'm
Oh,
so
sure,
sorry.
yeah, 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 that's right.
Um, So basically they're getting to see that their animal enjoys their attention and they enjoyed their time at the salon if as long as they're being handled well and properly and using safety and empathy and all those things. But I think the best part is when a client is receptive to maintenance, to understanding that we're not magicians. Groomers aren't magicians. That there's maintenance and there's upkeep that needs to happen at home and between appointments. And so when when that, when we bridge that gap and we start to understand that like the groomer and the owner and the veterinarian, we're all a caregiving team for that pet. Sometimes there's an esthetician, sometimes there is a doggy dermatologist. Um, and everybody has their own specialty and the owners who are really invested in the health and the well-being of their animal take those steps to do the maintenance part. So they're combing or they're brushing or they're doing baths in between appointments or they have taken the time to understand that there behavioral things that go on with grooming also. And the more frequently we do it, then the more of like a breeze it becomes for the dog because it's normal. You've got your animals that are bathed once a year and they have a really hard time behaviorally sometimes versus your dog that does it every 6 to, 4 to 8 weeks really on a healthy grooming schedule, and the behavior changes along with that. Um, so
Have
that
you,
was a big part.
yeah, and I think you alluded to it earlier. Have you seen how the pet is a mirror of the owner or for the owner?
Yeah.
Could you speak to that a little bit? How do you see
Well,
that?
it's a lot like the way our our animals, our pets mirror our energy, you know. So it's not just that the pet mirrors my energy when I'm working with the animal. If we've got our helicopter parents, right? And and so those animals are going to be less confident because they've not been permitted to necessarily just go experience life as much, or had as much work done. So I'm not a trainer and I'm not a behaviorist, right? That's not my specialty, but as a pet owner, it's important to me that my dog is confident, that my dog is socialized, that that she can go out into a store, or she can go to a park, and she has confidence and she has social skills. And so it's not necessarily that the dog is reflecting the behaviors of the owner, but I can definitely tell who's put the work and the time in to do the socialization piece, and the confidence building piece, and the training piece, and and all of that. I mean, there is some mirroring of the owner behavior as well, but I think when we build that bond with a pet, you get to see that relationship bloom, and so the animal builds trust in their owner, and and then you see that really become a mutually beneficial relationship, where the pet is responding well to the owner and vice versa.
It sounds to me like that one of the things that my takeaway is that there's a difference between how I treat that animal as a pet and how I allow them to be a dog
Yeah,
within the,
I think a lot of trainers call that agency.
okay?
And so, we want to give them the foundation to make good decisions for themselves on their own. They're not all people pleasing breeds. And so some of them, like I've got a Great Pyrenees mix, and she's an independent thinker. So so I want to give her the foundation to make good decisions on her own when she has agency, and that way, she has the time and the flexibility, and I have the patience, so that she learns eventually to eat things that are not food, or to not eat things that are not food, and
Right.
to make better choices as she matures and gets more experience by being given the opportunity to make decisions.
Beautiful. So here's going to be an interesting question. How can you take, or how could a person take the lessons you've been sharing about working with animals and that relationship there, and take those same ideas and adapt them or overlay them onto any other relationship? What are some of the keys that translate over people to people?
Um, I think the biggest part of being an animal advocate is to it's all like empathy is at the core of everything. And so my journey in caring for animals and my experiences in caring for animals translated into advocacy because it was, I want to, um, I want to advocate for this being that doesn't have a voice. And so a lot of advocates talk about the phrase of being a voice for the voiceless. And so that translates into a lot of other different things in our society. And there are other, vulnerable parts of our population who are also voiceless. And and I would just say, we want to take the time to put ourselves in others' shoes. And we want to think about, like, to step outside of ourselves for a minute and to consider, oh, well, how would I feel if, that was happening to me? And and that's how advocacy starts, I think, is to, it's with empathy, and it's um by being considerate that others have a different journey, and they also need advocates. So a lot of what I do, it boils down to the relationship. It's called the human animal bond between um pets and people. And sometimes it's a service animal, sometimes it's a therapy animal, sometimes it's a house pet, sometimes it's a show dog. It doesn't really matter, as long as that relationship is, there's a word called kahu in Hawaiian, and it basically means that we're their protector, as opposed to always looking at a guard dog as our protector. It's our job to take care of their safety and their nutrition and their well-being. And I love that word, the kahu.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Colette, what do you imagine and dream for yourself 2 years from now, 5 years from now? Where do you imagine that this love and care and empathy that you have expands out to the animal world, the people world? What can you imagine coming forward?
Honestly, so I really don't. Part of this journey has been also letting go of expectations for me. Okay, so I seize opportunities for education whenever they are available. And starting TAP newsletter, Texas Animal Progress, it's just a Facebook page at this point, but I would really like for it to grow bigger. And what I do is I go and find other I share everything I find there for free. And I want it to be a source of animal welfare information. I want it to be a source of information for career advancement, other people who want to pursue careers in animal caretaking, people who want to learn how to volunteer, people who want to, just to kind of like fix this animal overpopulation crisis and find out what they can do to be part of it. It's all there. All these other advocates, like, I take what they're doing and I share it. And I think that there's some magic in us just sharing and giving among the advocacy community and saying, hey, guess what worked really well yesterday, y'all? And then telling other people about that and the magic of the just the giving and making it easy. access for people to find what's working, and and to be open-minded and to let go of our biases, and to just go, okay, we're ready to explore all the things, because whatever we're doing right now isn't working. And so bring it on, you know? And
It's
that's what I hope manifests into something way bigger. I want that to take off. I really do. That spirit um of folks looking for opportunities to how to have less animals in shelters, how to keep pets and their people together, how to utilize technology to do lots of things to reduce costs, to improve efficiency, um, and to do reporting and metrics. Like, there's things from my old life that actually really come to play in this stuff too. And so every time a light bulb comes on, I go, oh, wait, what if that was happening over there? That could be incredible. So technology is, there's Petco Love that does facial recognition data for pets. And then it's a database in case you lose your pet. And there's a database out there with their face in it. And if somebody finds that pet, they're on the database. There's just amazing things happening.
it's profound. It's really profound. I can feel that paying it forward kind of thing is going to resonate and interact. And what a beautiful, beautiful cause and message to help the world more. So I've thoroughly enjoyed this, Colette. It's wonderful to hear you share about your passion and your purpose and helping the world in that way. How can we get in touch with you in case people want to know more about your classes or whatever's coming up or the newsletter? How can we get in touch with you?
Yeah, I have a Facebook page. It's called Tap Newsletter. I don't spell it all the way out. It's not Texas Animal Progress. It's just Tap Newsletter. And I have a link tree that has all of my different pages. So I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, and some of it is a cut of love pet spa stuff that was my
Okay.
grooming business. And then some of it is new creative stuff that I've tried to do with animal advocacy. So the link tree is linktr.ee/ Colette with one L, COLETTE _ R. And so that's my tree where you can find all the branches.
Beautiful, beautiful. I make sure after we get done, put those in the comments underneath. Go type them up, and that way
I
people will
will.
know how to get a hold of you. And stick around for just a minute after we get wrapped up.
Okay, thank
Colette,
you so much
thank
for
you
the
so much.
opportunity.
Yeah, this is great. I really appreciate beautiful perspective, and the whole Empowered Soul Network is all about helping people find that voice, however unique and niched it is, whatever, it doesn't make any difference. There's genius in everybody, and we need to hear from all of us. So thank you so much, Colette. And
Thank
we'll
you, Paul.
see you again after lunch, everybody. Got some more coming up today. Talk to you soon.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.